Good morning. As a daughter-in-law, I can testify to many qualities that my father-in-law, Sushil Kumar Sinha, possessed. And yet, no tribute that I pay him will adequately express my perception of him. In the kaleidoscope of memories, two snapshots of my father-in-law stand out most luminously. The first one is quite naturally that of a father. However, first I would like to speak of the second trait about Sushil Kumar Sinha, which I testify not only as a daughter-in-law, but as an admirer. And that was his single-minded pursuit of the two quite distinctively polar passions of his life, namely field hockey and vocal music. He excelled in both and received numerous accolades from the Indian government as well as countless private organizations devoted to the arts and sports. Right from my early days of knowing him, I felt him to be practically radiating a palpable energy for his life's passions that left him largely oblivious to his personal needs and material success. He was more often than not surrounded by professional commitments. Lifelong students who came to him religiously for music lessons worshipped him as a maestro and received in return unfailing love and an outpouring of the musical legacy with which he endeavored to endow those that sought his training. He served as a national hockey umpire over several decades, retiring as the senior-most in the country. The green of the hockey field was almost hallowed ground to him, where without fail he attended almost every day till cruel destiny in the form of an accident brought an end to this mission. In this connection, he also made a cameo appearance in an acclaimed Bengali film and associated with some of the most talented and well-known celebrities of his time. Although by many he was largely perceived as a man with overwhelming interests outside of the home, there was a very tender, almost childlike aspect to him that would leave the discerning perceiver with a sense of a man very much at ease and sometimes even yearning for the comforts that near and dear ones bring. He interacted with all of his 4 grandchildren with an infinitely affectionate demeanor, colored by both indulgence and a sense of humor that only a grandfather can provide. A couple of vignettes stand out sharply in my mind that will illustrate the androgynous aspect that underlay my father-in-law's outwardly public life. He was a very dapper man who sometimes was just too busy to have a haircut, and on a certain day, where he had an important engagement, it suddenly dawned on him that his hair badly needed a trim. Not sure what best to do, he turned to me suddenly and asked that I just snip off the untamed and stubborn tendrils of hair lurking furtively on his collar. Now, my experience with this trade was limited to me forcing my hair-cutting exercise on a kid sister who perforce could not attend school, so ashamed she was of the new look I bestowed upon her, till such time a professional salon expert came to her rescue. So naturally, at first I desisted. However, my father-in-law's urgings increased my confidence, and out came my mother-in-law's sewing paraphernalia, and fishing out a pair of tailoring shears, there was his daughter-in-law, turned hairdresser, trimming his hair neatly enough, with my mother-in-law hovering assistively at his shoulder, with a wad of old newspaper to catch the falling snippets. Another frame that floats above all others in my mind is that of me in labor with my firstborn. Anguished and bleary-eyed with the almost insufferable pain of childbirth, I found my father-in-law standing helplessly yet protectively over my hospital bed. His cool fingers, gentle as the falling rain, on my tortured forehead, willing to ease the distress out of my body. Last, but certainly not the least, this tribute would not be complete unless I dwell on my father-in-law's infinite capacity to endure whatever life hurled at him without ever any complaints. Whenever his younger son, my husband, called for him from Toronto, where we reside, he spoke as cheerfully as possible in the crisp, clear tone that was so much a hallmark of his singing voice floating over the miles that separated us. He thirsted for news of Calcutta, from where his roots could never be uprooted, and was happy with whatever fragments we could give him. Baba, you are home at last, and may you rest in infinite peace in the arms of your Maker. Thank you.